Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Giggity, real name is Mark, and in today's video, we are going to be going over every quote-unquote problem, I guess you could say, that I've found so far in Battlefield 6. It's not the reason why I say when it comes to the problems thing is because it's not actually like a genuine problems, just things that I would either change about the game, or yes, things that are actually just like genuine problems, like bugs and things like that. So just the downsides of Battlefield 6 that I've found so far, if that makes any sense. Movie of the day is gonna be, I don't actually have one picked right now, so let me think of one real quick off the top of my head. We're gonna go with, oh man, Prisoners with Jake Gyllenhaal in it. That movie's a banger. So yeah, that one, I guess that's a good movie. So go watch that movie if you haven't already. It's a good one. But either way, yeah, that's what we're going over today. Is the main problems I've noticed in Battlefield 6 so far. As you guys know, I've been playing Battlefield 6 out the wazoo. I freaking love that game. I'm having a blast playing it. But there are definitely some problems with it. I think it's a great game, one of the best Battlefields of all time. Sure. Do I think it's better than 4? Do I think it's better than 3? No. Do I think it's better than 1 though? I do think it's better than 1. I think I enjoy this game personally better than I enjoy 1. So I love the game, don't get me wrong, and I know this video is going to be negative in nature. It absolutely will be, because it's all just problems. We're not talking about anything good about the game, just all the bad things about the game. But I just want to make it abundantly clear now at the beginning of the video, before we get into all the bad stuff, that I love this game, okay? And even though there are some problems with the game, I still at the end of the day think the pros massively outweigh the cons, and would highly recommend buying it if you like first-person shooter games. Without further ado, I guess let's get right into it. There's not going to be any real editing, so I don't really know what I would do for editing on this, because it's kind of like we're just going to be yapping about problems with the game. So in the background, I just have some Battlefield 6 footage, some on the new map with that new gun, and then some on just some older stuff. But either way, the first problem I've noticed, the first thing that I would change about Battlefield 6, I guess that's a better way of wording it. The main things I would change about Battlefield 6 so far. The first thing I would change is spotting is way too aggressive. It's extremely easy to see snipers. I'm not talking about when you press LB or L1 or whatever key it is on a keyboard to spot a player that you're looking at. No. I'm talking about like when you're aiming down sights and it shows that like diamond above their head where they're not yet freaking spotted yet, but it still shows that they're there. And it's like, it's so easy to see snipers now from miles away, because all you have to do is aim in their relative direction and it'll just show you a big diamond right above their head. I think it's kind of stupid, and it kind of makes it so very, very tough to find like spots where, like back in the Battlefield 4 days, man, you would get sniped by a sniper, you like get shot at, and you could hear the bullet was by you and stuff like that, and you wouldn't get hit yet, and you would be looking for him and looking for him and looking for him, and you wouldn't find that guy until he killed you. And then once he killed you, you would see where he was sitting at because of the way the death cams worked in that game, and you could go back and get your payback the next life. And that was a good way of doing it, because the sniper probably worked his butt off to find that hiding spot and to find that good sniper spot. And so it makes sense. But now in Battlefield 6, I find myself just 9 times out of 10, I'm just looking directly at their direction, and I immediately get a diamond above their head and know where they are, even though I don't actually know where they are. So I would change the spotting. The next thing that I would change is that I personally believe that the assault class extremely needs med packs again. They are a useless class right now. As a matter of fact, the only thing that they do have that I believe is useful is the spawn beacon, and the spawn beacon, spoiler alert for the next thing that I would change about the game, but I don't think belongs in the assaults class either, so I think that should change as well. I think having support give both ammo and health and being able to revive players is way too much for one class. That class is easily the best class in the game. It's not even close. The only other one that comes anywhere close to it is Engineer, and that's if you actually are a good player with Engineer and actually know to take care of vehicles and stuff like that. But most people aren't. So 90% of players are just playing support, and yeah, why wouldn't you? If you give Assault the meds back and the defibrillators back and the med packs and stuff like that, they would be actually a viable class, and they can keep all their like aggressive momentum stuff that they have in this game. Like I know that they can capture flags faster, they run a little bit faster, or whatever it is, and yeah, they should absolutely be able to do that. But still, it's not going to be like broken if you give them the healing aspect of it too. I think they absolutely need that. Will it make support a little bit worse? Obviously, but I don't think it would make them unplayable. Support was 100% playable in older Battlefield games because it was a good balance. So yeah, people need ammo. Like, I think it was a good idea. Maybe to balance it out, give players less starting ammo. I know in Battlefield 6 you have like tons of rounds right at the start, which is kind of crazy because in old Battlefields you had like 2 or 3 mags before you had to go get ammo. So maybe that would be a good way to balance it, but either way, I think that Assault needs the med pack stuff again. They need to be the medic again. Next is the one that we were just talking about earlier. We kind of teased this a little bit, but give Recon the freaking spawn beacons back, bro. Yeah, just, I mean, why in God's name does Assault have the spawn beacons? That just makes no sense. And as of right now, I think Assault is the most useless class, but I think Recon is right there at a number 2. Like, Recon doesn't do much, and back in the day, they never really have done much. They were, yes, they always been the spotting class, and to be fair, being able to spot players immediately after looking at them with a sniper rifle is a very beneficial thing for Recons to have in Battlefield 6. I like that change a lot, but, which by the way, that's not contradictory to my first statement. I think it's good on the Recon class as a sniper because that makes sense for a sniper to do, but when it comes to every single class and every single player in the game being able to just look at somebody from miles away and be able to spot them immediately, that's where I have a problem with it. But either way, yeah, back to the thing. Yeah, I think the Recon having spawn beacon just makes sense. Like, it's always been a Battlefield thing. It made Recon a good class. It was like one of the only reasons to run Recon back in the old days. The spawn beacons on Recon is iconic. Bring it back. Next thing is actually goes back to healing and medic baloney again. The defibrillators. Yeah, give those a cooldown or a wind up or something, because as of right now, they are absolutely way too strong. I saw this guy on Twitter talking about it, which I know Twitter is not the best place to get your information from because it's just a cesspool of morons there. But I saw some guy on Twitter saying it, and I do agree with him. You can literally shoot and kill 5 people with 1 mag with like a carbine or something, right? And in the time it takes you to reload that magazine, a medic from the enemy team could have came over to those 5 dead people and revived all 5 of them with 50 health, half of their health, before you could reload that gun. And it makes it, I get the idea behind Battlefield, you're supposed to feel just like cannon fodder as an infantryman. You're not supposed to feel like you're making a big difference. And at the end of the day, it makes it much more fast-paced since they can revive players on the fly just like that. And so because of that, it makes the battles seem much more intense and stuff like that, because people are just getting revived left, right, and center, and there's just like people are, and I get that, and it definitely does add a little bit of fun to the game when it comes to that aspect, for sure. Don't get me wrong, I understand, but at the same time, it makes it feel like you can capture a flag with 3 dudes on it and you get a 1v3 cap on the flag and you're like, let's go, I finally did it, but then some guy runs in and revives all 3 of them right in front of your very eyes, and now you're back to a 1v4 trying to cap the flag again, and you're like, what was all that for? You know what I mean? And so I think they absolutely should tweak the defibrillators in a way. Maybe give them like I said, give them a cooldown before you can use them again, or more, this is the one I think is smarter, give them a wind up before you can use them again. Like, make you have to like rub them together just a little bit, and then you could use them, because I don't think just being able to press RT is a good idea. Next, and this is one that everybody has been talking about. As a matter of fact, they might have even changed it at this point, and I just haven't noticed yet, so let me know in the comments if I'm wrong here, and if I am, I'll absolutely give your comment like one of those heart things, because I don't want to spread misinformation here. But as of right now, as far as I can know, and as far as I can tell, they still haven't fixed this. AR bloom. For those who don't know, in the beta, assault rifles were extremely broken, and everybody was complaining about assault rifles in the beta being extremely broken. And so in order to combat that, Battlefield went in and did some tweaks, which is a good thing. They were listening to the community, and I love them for that. But they made a mistake. They went a little bit too far, and that's all there is to it. It's not a bad thing. You know, you're a developer, you make mistakes, it's fine. But at the end of the day, they did make a mistake, and they went way too far with the amount of bloom that assault rifles have, and now the bloom is just outrageous, and assault rifles are almost completely useless. Yes, I said it. They are almost completely useless in Battlefield 6. SMGs are just dominating at every single range, and carbines are a very close second, and assault rifles are tied for like 3rd when it comes to LMGs and when it comes to like being tied with LMGs. It's just, they're just not good enough for a class that's supposed to be like the, you know, not the bare bones, what's the word I'm looking for there, like the beginner weapon class. You know, assault rifles have always kind of been that way in first-person shooter games. They're just like a very well-rounded class. It's not that hard to use them, but it usually doesn't have the best payoff. You know what I mean? They should be that way in Battlefield 6, and they just don't feel that way. They feel very weak, and it's almost like they have no real use. And obviously there are instances and there's anecdotal parts where, yeah, there's going to be a couple of rifles in the game that are still broken, even with the AR bloom. The M433, for example, is still disgusting, even with the amount of bloom that it has. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, the majority of them are weak, and the reason why is because of the amount of bloom they have. So I would obviously fix that. I think that's a problem that needs to be fixed. Again, Battlefield, that's not me saying you guys are like stupid idiots like some people are saying online. I understand that the whole reason why you changed the bloom in the first place is because we were complaining about the bloom, and you listened to the community, and we appreciate you for that. Us smart players do. But at the end of the day, you know, you tweaked it a little bit too much. You should go back just a little bit on it. Next thing is actually going into gun balancing again. SMGs, like I said, are easily the most broken class in this game. It's not even close. And so I think that they need significantly more recoil, like by a long shot. Dude, there is no way in hell that I should be able to laser a dude from 50 meters out with a submachine gun. That just doesn't make sense, and you easily can do that with almost every single SMG in the game. SMGs are broken. If you are struggling on Battlefield 6 and you can't get kills, use an SMG. You will easily become good again. Like this, they are just that disgusting. They're overpowered, and the reason why is because they're absolute lasers with no bloom, no recoil, etc., etc. If they want to balance this game out just a little bit more, give the SMGs more recoil. Every single one of them, literally every single one of them needs at least a little bit more recoil to it. Maybe like the KV9 is fine. That one has a pretty decent amount of recoil, but like the SGX, PW5A3, PW7A2, the P90, whatever that thing is called, I forget what it's called, and the UMP45, again, I forget what that one's called too. Give them some sort of recoil, because right now they're absolute lasers and they're a submachine gun, so they probably shouldn't be lasers. Next thing is a bug that I've noticed personally, but I haven't seen anybody talking about it online, so I guess maybe it is just a me thing, and hopefully it is, because I obviously don't want you guys suffering from it. But sometimes matches will just play the menu music the whole time and the enemy's tickets won't go down. So I'll load into like a conquest match and the enemy's tickets will be set at 000 for the entire game and it won't move at all. So I have no idea what the score is. I can see my score, my team score, but I can never see what the enemy's score is. Meanwhile, the entire time, the menu music, which by the way, I've actually complimented before. I think I love the menu music in this game. It reminds me of Need for Speed Carbon. I love the menu music in the game. It's awesome. But I don't want to listen to it in the middle of the match for the entire time, and I have to. And it drives me nuts. And I know you're thinking, well, just leave. And normally I do, but sometimes it happens when I'm in a game with my friends and they're stubborn buttholes, and so I'll be like, hey, can we just leave this game and restart a new one? And they're like, no, I want to stay in this one. No, it's a good map. And so we don't leave, and I have to sit there listening to music the entire time that I don't want to listen to. It's a bug that I've noticed personally. Maybe it's just a me thing, because again, I haven't seen anybody else talking about it yet, but it is a bug that I want fixed. Next thing is another bug, some of the challenges. Some of the challenges are just 100% clearly bugged. There's no way around it. There are just challenges that do not track. I believe they fixed this though in like the most recent patch. So if they did, obviously I take this back. But as of what I know, they haven't just yet. And so yeah, I think some of the challenges are just clearly bugged. If they fixed them at this point, good on them and great. We're awesome. We're into a good start. Don't get me wrong. However, I think that some of the challenges are bugged. The other thing about challenges in general is some of them are way too hard. Now, I am a Battlefield player. I understand that Battlefield challenges are supposed to be hard. Dude, I got the UCAV in Battlefield 4, and I am not a jet pilot. Okay, that took forever to get that freaking thing. I went through when I played Battlefield 4 again on my Xbox years later when the game was kind of dead, and so I had to get the MPX again. In order to do that, you have to play the game mode Chain Link or whatever it's called. I forget what it's called, but it's something around those lines, and there's no one playing that game mode. So I literally went into conquest games and like freaking recruited an army to go play Chain Link with me just so I could get the MPX. Like trust me, I get that Battlefield challenges are hard. I understand it takes time, but some of them are not just hard, they're hard to the point where it's like impossible. Like for example, I know the final one for the engineer class, you have to heal a vehicle for 6,000 points of healing in a single match, and apparently you could do it with some sort of like glitch or exploit where you can just like sit there hammering at a quad the entire game and then healing it over and over again, and it counts. So sure, that counts, and I guess you could say, well, you could still complete the challenge in that way. Yeah, but that's obviously not the intended way of doing it. The intended way is obviously to be a team player and to go around healing tanks, but apparently it's just not possible to get 6,000 points of damage healed in a single match right now. Like, it's just not possible. So they obviously need to tweak things like that, make the challenges a little bit easier. Other things like the first LMG, the KTS 100 Mark 8 or whatever that thing's called, in order to unlock it you need to get 300 suppress enemies, and nobody's really complaining about this one. Everyone's complaining about the PSR challenge. I think the PSR challenge is fine. Yeah, it's hard, it takes a lot of time, but it's a sniper rifle. You're supposed to have to like be a sniper to get it, and that makes sense. The freaking KTS 100 Mark 8 challenge though, the 300 suppressions, those just are, I'll get like maybe 2 a game, and I'll go like, I know you're thinking, well, maybe you're bad. No, partner, I go like 60 and 10. Okay, I'll go like crazy with an LMG, but only get like 2 freaking suppressions an entire game, and you have to get 300 of them. It drives me nuts. And I guess you could say, well, if you go out of your way to get suppressions, you could do it better. Sure, but why in the world would you ever want to do that? Because for those who don't know, getting a suppression is by shooting very close to the enemy's head, but not actually hitting the enemy, and it suppresses the enemy. It stops them from healing, it stops them from like running and stuff like that. And so that's what suppressing does in Battlefield. But if you were like purposely going out of your way to get suppression things, then you would literally be aiming at an enemy and seeing the enemy and purposely shooting away from the enemy. That way you don't kill him. and instead you get a suppression. Like, that's obviously not a fun way of playing the game, and it should not be that way. So I think they just need to tweak the difficulty on some challenges and fix the ones that are bugged, that are just not working. The next thing that I think this game needs, or should change, and yeah, it's a hot topic right now. It's a controversial topic, and like I said, I'm a Battlefield vet, man. I've been playing since Battlefield 3, and I was pretty much max level in 3, and I was 100% max level in 4. Battlefield 4 is just so freaking good, man. But either way, I'm a vet, man, and so I get where the complaints are coming from, but at the same time, it's 2025. I think this game needs a true mastery camo. I said it, I'm not going back on it. I genuinely think that there should be some sort of cool, really exquisite, pristine camo that you get after getting every single gun to level 50 in the game. I think that's just fair, and it would be a really cool grind to have in this game. As of right now, it's the only real thing the only real problem that I see with Battlefield 6 is once Black Ops 7 comes out, how are they going to keep the Call of Duty players over? They're probably not, because Call of Duty knows how to addict players to their game, which, yeah, it's scummy, don't get me wrong, but they know how to do it, and it keeps players coming back for a grind of some sort, and they know how to do that. Battlefield doesn't really have one like that right now, and while us Battlefield fans don't need one to play their game because we like the game, and it's fine if we don't have a grind to play because we just like playing the game in general and it's fun, there are some players that I think it would benefit to have. And another thing I see a lot is like, well, I don't want the game to be ruined. I'm not saying add a dark matter camo into the game. I'm not saying add a freaking polyatomic camo into the game, or whatever that one was in Vanguard. That was horrible, that freaking clown vomit skin. Yeah, I'm not saying add those into the game. I'm just saying add a nice camo, like Black Ops 1's gold. Like, do you guys remember Call of Duty Black Ops 1's gold? Nobody was complaining about realism in Black Ops 1. Like, that game was perfectly fine. The gold camo fit in the game, and it was a really worthy grind to go for it. And that would be awesome. If something like that was in Battlefield 6, that would be great. But unfortunately, the camo that they have now for reaching level 50 with a gun, most people agree it's just not it, and it doesn't look great or whatever, and I agree. I think that needs some sort of true mastery camo, because it's just a fun way of grinding the game out and having something else to do once you get pretty much everything there is to unlock in the game, and you're pretty much a demon at the game, but you have one more thing to work towards, and it's always fun to have mastery camos in games. Again, for the love of God, before morons come into my comments saying, I don't want to see a dark matter camo in Battlefield 6, I agree, I don't want to see that either. I just want a camo that looks cool, that's worth leveling up every single gun to level 54. That's it. That's all there is to it. Next is another thing that I noticed. This is just something that, like, I didn't even know was going to happen until I bought the game, and it was a little bit disappointed, but there is absolutely no naval combat or any sort of fun Easter eggs in Battlefield 6. Dude, Battlefield 4, naval combat on some maps were game breaking, like literally game breaking, like Parcel Storm. Oh my god, like if you weren't a naval demon on Parcel Storm, you just weren't good enough. Even on Flood Zone, like with the APCs at the bottom, it made the bottom completely unplayable for any infantry if you had a good APC down there, because he would track you down and murder you. In Battlefield 6, there are no naval combat whatsoever. Now, hopefully in the future they add some, but as of right now, it's not looking like that. In the first 2 maps that we're getting, there's not going to be any naval combat. Yes, they're adding new vehicles, and I appreciate them for that, because I was really hoping that they would, because that's what Battlefield is known for, is their vehicle combat. And they're adding new vehicles, so that's cool, but none that are like really game breaking. There's no naval combat still. There's going to be no APC tanks, nothing. And it's kind of weird. And the other big thing is the Easter eggs. Dude, do you guys remember every map in Battlefield 4 had some sort of really cool, and I'm not just talking like, oh, hey, look at that, it's kind of cool. No, really awesome interactive Easter eggs with that map. For example, Golmud Railway. You could shoot this little sniper glint all the way off in the mountains with a sniper, and if you hit it, it would make a Yeti screaming sound, like you shot a Yeti in the snowy mountains. That was awesome. On Rogue Transmission, if you and another player pressed a button at the same time, you would hear and see a bunch of trees moving in the woods out in the distance of the map. You would see all these trees moving, and then you would hear a dinosaur out there roaring, and it would be like a Easter egg to Jurassic Park, because there was even like a goat in a cage at one point or something like that, I remember. In Parcel Storm, you could literally do a really long Easter egg to get a Megalodon to jump out of the water, and everybody can see it. This wasn't like just a sound thing like in the other ones. This one, you could see this. The Megalodon would jump out of the water and crush everybody. And then there was the entire Easter egg behind the Phantom Bow in Battlefield 4. There were Easter eggs back in the day were cool in Battlefield games, extremely cool, and way more unique than whatever they're doing now. I don't even know if they have any Easter eggs now, but if they do, they need to work on them and make them really cool. Battlefield was kind of known for its Easter eggs, I feel like. I feel like most people loved Battlefield's Easter eggs, and now they just have like none, as far as I can tell. And so I really think they should think they should think about that, you know, just think about maybe adding some cool Easter eggs into their game, because it made their game really unique and special and memorable, in my opinion, back in the day. But either way, the next thing that I've noticed so far is that damage numbers are extremely inconsistent. I understand bloom, I understand range drop off, don't get me wrong, and I understand damage multipliers. Hitting somebody in the legs obviously is going to do a little bit less damage than hitting someone in the chest. I understand that. But at the same time, what I don't understand is how I'll shoot somebody from 10 feet away with an SOR 5.56 Mark II and get 17 damage, and then shoot someone from 50 feet away with an SOR 5.56 Mark II and get 30 damage. It is weird. Now, to be fair, again, I've kind of only noticed this on the assault rifles, so maybe it's bloom taking effect, and even though I think I'm shooting them in the chest of the balls, it's actually somehow managing to get into their foot or something, and that's the reason why it seems that way. And since I am shooting whenever I shoot at longer ranges, since I do tend to shoot with tap fire, maybe, you know, that's the reason as to why it feels so different. But I just personally think that that they need to work on the damage numbers. They just seem inconsistent. This one kind of ties back into bloom though, so we're not gonna harp on this one for too long. Next thing is the RPGs and tank rounds, they can't one-shot helis or jets. Yeah, why? Like, just why? That is so stupid. You know how cool it used to be back in the day when you would freaking shoot an RPG round at a helicopter flying by and it would hit it and destroy it, or a jet, and it would destroy it in one shot, and you'd be like, oh my god, I got him, and you'd save it to your Xbox immediately. It didn't happen enough to make it unplayable in helicopters and jets. As a matter of fact, if you go back and play Battlefield 4 right now, there's this one guy that sits in a helicopter all game and goes literally like 120-0 every single game of Battlefield 4, because people just can't get him out of the sky because he's a good enough pilot to avoid RPGs and smalls and stuff like that. So, like, no, it didn't make it like unplayable for the aerial combat guys. It just made it super freaking cool and awesome when you would one-shot them. Especially with the tanks too, by the way. If you were like sitting with a tank and you saw a helicopter battle fly by and you shot a tank round at it and it hit it and you just saw the helicopter fall to the ground and die, that was sick. Nowadays they get hit markers in Battlefield 6. Why? Literally just why? Like, what is the point in that? Bring back being able to one-shot helis and tanks, for the love of God, with RPGs or tank rounds. Like, that's just, yes, I think it should be a hit marker when it comes to like stingers, because you're locking onto it. It doesn't take that much skill. It's not that impressive. And so, yeah, you should be able to, it should be a hit marker when it comes to those. But RPGs, free dumbfire, grenade launchers, and tank rounds, yeah, dude, come on. Like, that has to be a one shot. Come on now. Next thing is the death cam in this game is just stupid. I don't know why they ever reworked this from Battlefield 4's death cam. For those who don't know, it doesn't have something like a kill cam like Call of Duty does, but Call of Duty, when somebody kills you, you get to see exactly what happened and how he killed you. Everybody knows how Call of Duty kill cams can work. But in Battlefield of the days of old, what would happen was after he killed you, it would instead show you the opposite. It would show you what he was doing afterwards. It would follow his character, it would highlight his character through walls, whatever. You pretty much had literally wall hacks, but you were dead, so you can really act on those wall hacks. But you could see exactly where he was going and what he was doing for the next couple of seconds or whatever, however long it took you until you respawned. Maybe work on the way that it does it now, because now in Battlefield 6, instead of doing that, all it does is just shows you where he killed you from. It shows you an outline of his body of exactly where he killed you from. But if he moves, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't show you where he went. And so I understand the reason why they do it, because the bleed out time in Battlefield 6 is significantly longer than the bleed out time in Battlefield 4. And so if you were able to see the enemy for that entire amount of time, you could literally just sit there on the ground dead, and there's nothing they can do about it, giving callouts to your team of exactly where they are. I understand that, and I get where they're coming from in that. So maybe just tweak it a little bit. Maybe let us follow him for the next couple of seconds after we die, and then go to the death cam that you have now. That way we can still give immediate call outs, and if we get revived, we can see where he went, like in the old Battlefield days of old, which made it fair after you got revived, but without breaking the game and being able to just call out to your teammates exactly where he is for the next 30 seconds to a minute long. Like that, yeah, I think that would be obviously broken, so that's obviously the reason why they haven't done it yet, or why they changed it, I should say. But at the same time, I think that they should rework it just a little bit. The next thing is lock the freaking weapon classes. Like, just do it, for the love of God. Like, I actually, as a matter of fact, lock the weapon classes, and class-specific grenades are weird. Get rid of that, okay? Like, I don't know why you decided to open the weapon classes and allow ARs to be in recon and LMGs to be an engineer. I don't know why you decided to do that. That was a horrible idea, but I also extremely don't know why you decided to give the class-specific thing is now grenades. What is that? Why is that the case, dude? That's just dumb. Allow everybody to use whatever grenade they want to use, and then lock the weapon classes again. Like that. Yes, I understand they have the playlist of the weapon classes being locked mode or whatever. You have to use whatever weapon class it is. I get that, but no one plays that, man. No one plays that. It's the same problem that Call of Duty has whenever they try to like gaslight you into thinking that people like SBMM, because they'll make like a playlist that's like hidden in the depths of hell. You have to go through like the Minecraft Nether portal in order to get to this freaking playlist. And then they'll be like, see, nobody played this playlist, so therefore people don't like SBMM. It's like, no, because it's obviously everybody knows that the first thing people, like most casual players, are just going to click on the first thing that they see when they load into the game. Even players like me that I'm not a casual player, most of the time I'm just clicking on whatever it is. I just want to get into a game, man. I don't want us to go around shifting through the menus or whatever. So I just find a game and play whatever it is. So yeah, you have a closed weapon playlist, but it's all the way at the freaking end of the freaking horrible Hulu Netflix level menus that you have, and so nobody ever clicks on it because nobody's ever going over there to even look for playlists. And so yeah, it doesn't really make any difference. Just lock the weapon classes across the entire game. It makes no sense. Is there anyone in the world that is like, I like having open weapon classes? Like, I just don't get that. I feel like everyone out there is telling you to lock them. I don't understand. It's literally the SBMM baloney with Call of Duty again. Like, everybody was telling Call of Duty, hey, get rid of SBMM, get rid of SBMM, get rid of SBMM. Nobody wanted it in the game. And then they finally got rid of it. And people are like, yay, let's go. We're happy now. Everybody's happy now. It's the same thing with you, Battlefield. Literally everyone is telling you to lock the weapon classes. Every single player that knows Battlefield, that your veteran players, the people that made your company successful, made it what it is today, are telling you, hey, this is a bad idea. Lock the weapon classes. It makes no sense why you should be able to use an assault. It makes it even less like rewarding to use other classes again. It's just more, it's almost like Battlefield 6 wanted nothing more than for players to just play support, and that's all there is to it, because they made the gadgets absolutely broken, and now you could use whatever gun. That was the only slight downside to support, is you had to use an LMG. And let's be honest, yes, even in Battlefield games, LMGs were never like the meta. Like, yeah, you could sit back and camp with LMGs on maps like Operation Locker, Operation Metro, and just lay down gunfire in like high traffic hallways, sure, but on most maps they don't tend to work that well. And so that was like kind of the downside of playing support, even though they were usually a pretty good class. Well, now there's no downside. It's like they just want every single player in the world to play support, and I don't get it. And so just lock the weapon classes, for the love of God. I don't understand why they're open. It makes no sense. It doesn't make your game any more enjoyable. If anything, it makes it just feel more like Call of Duty and a basic first-person shooter game. You kind of are losing that, like, you know, individuality, I guess you can say, that identity, that's the word I'm looking for, that Battlefield identity, when you just let players use whatever weapon they want. And I understand you're trying to balance it out by being like, oh, well, if you use an assault rifle with the assault class, you get a little bit of a bonus. And nobody cares about that, though. Nobody cares about that, so nobody uses it. Either way, the final thing that I've noticed, and the final thing that I would change about Battlefield 6 so far, and maybe there's one or two others I just forgot about, so let me know in the comments below if you guys have anything that you would change about the game so far that you've noticed personally. But this is the one I've noticed. There are no night maps. Why? Yeah, why? I just feel like the maps in this game, even though they're pretty good, and I don't really have many complaints about them, except for like New Sobek City. I really think New Sobek City is kind of weak, but the rest of the other maps are pretty fine. I don't really like, I'm not like mad when they pop up into rotation or whatever. So I do like the maps. I'm not complaining about them, don't get me wrong. I just feel like they just took no risks in Battlefield 6. Like, no naval maps. Like, yes, Parcel Storm, don't get me wrong. Parcel Storm, of all the base launch maps in Battlefield 4, is definitely one of the community's like weakest, I would say. Like, people definitely think that one's probably one of the weaker launch maps of Battlefield 4. So I get why they probably didn't want to do that. And then Dawnbreaker in Battlefield 4, again, the night map. People weren't the biggest fan of Dawnbreaker, sure. So I kind of understand it, but I don't think that means that you should just not do any more night maps or any more naval combat focused maps. You had a whole DLC related to naval combat in Battlefield 4, and it went over extremely well. Like, everybody loved that DLC. It was a super great, I think it was, I don't remember what it was called, like something about naval stuff, but either way, it was a really good DLC. Everybody, I'm pretty sure, was pretty happy with that DLC. Like, I don't think anybody was complaining about that DLC. It was a fun time, is what I'm trying to say. So why not just for the love of God, just add more unique variety maps. Like the two new maps that are coming at launch, the Hollywood one and then that oil rig or oil fields one, whatever they're called. They look fun, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy, I'm excited to play on those maps for sure. I'm going to play on them, and I'm excited. It's coming out tomorrow, and I'm super excited to play them tomorrow. But at the same time, they're just regular maps again, you know what I mean? And it's gonna end up like Call of Duty, dude. And I hate to say it, but that's the case. Just make some unique maps, night maps, water-based maps, whatever it may be, would be cool to see in Battlefield 6. I think, yes, obviously it's going to take a little bit of tweaking the game's lighting for the night maps, and it's going to take adding different vehicles and stuff like that so you can get across the water for the naval combat focused maps. But dude, you did that back in Battlefield 4, which came out in what, 2015? So if you could do it back then, you could do it now there, Battlefield. All right. So yeah, get the step in. All right. Let's hurry it up. But anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of today's video of all the problems and or things that I would want to see changed in Battlefield 6 so far. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great moment jumbo. I will be leaving a comment down below with my new YouTube channel that I will be using for yapping, because as you guys know, I like to yap sometimes, so people complain about it on this channel. So I want to stop the yapping on this channel and just start to get to the videos, and instead make a whole channel dedicated just to my yapping and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested, there will be a comment down below with that in it. But yeah, I want to make it abundantly clear before we leave this video, before I end this video out once again, that even though this video is negative in nature, I still love this game. Do not get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. Yes, I think there are problems. Yes, there are absolutely things I would change about the game. But dude, one of my favorite video games of all time, Rainbow Six Siege. I love Rainbow Six Siege. It's my most played game ever. Period. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I love that game. It's my favorite game of all time. There are hundreds of things I would change in that game. So that you could love a game and still be like, oh, there are clear flaws here. Like Skyrim, dude. I love Skyrim. Skyrim's great. Skyrim's such a good game. I would change a lot of things about Skyrim. Elden Ring, same thing. Change a lot of things. Red Dead Redemption 2, same thing. Change a lot of things. Like, there are so many things, games that are great and incredible. Right now, I'm enjoying Rocket League. I love Rocket League right now. I think that game's so much fun. When playing it with my buddies, oh my god, that game is a blast. I would change a lot of things about it though. And so yeah, that's all I'm trying to say is, like, even though it may look like based on this video alone, especially if it's like your first video of mine on my channel, it may look like I'm a Battlefield 6 hater. That is absolutely not the case, man. Love this game, having a ton of fun on it. And at the end of the day, if they don't change any of these things, I'll still play it. Yeah, I'll absolutely still play this game and have a ton of fun and play the game, and yeah, just have a great time on it and not really complain about it too much. But these are just the things, if it was up to me, that I would change. But hey, I'm not a video game developer, so maybe I'm wrong on some of these certain things too. So it is what it is. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.